Hello Seattle, hello Red May. My name is Hami Bahadori. We are in front of Lenin's apartment building where he lived in 1917, and I'm with Ilya Orlov. And sorry we couldn't send this video live because tomorrow Ilya leaves for St. Petersburg, so we had to record it a little bit sooner and send it to you guys. But we will walk you through the apartment, and Ilya will tell us more about the project and the history where Lenin was staying in this apartment in 1917. So maybe
Yes. I will say also a couple of words. Basically, Lenin lived here shortly before the October Revolution in late August and September 1917. He was hiding from the prosecution of provisional government. He was accused as being allegedly German agent because of his radical anti-war state stance, and he was hiding at the apartment of Finnish Social Democrat Kustaa Rovio in this building. And in the 1970s, they opened the museum apartment here in this building, in the original authentic apartment. It was apartment number 22 on the 5th floor of this building. And after collapse of Soviet Union, the museum was closed, and apartment was sold to a private person.
should
And
we walk upstairs maybe?
yeah, we go upstairs,
so-
but I just wanted to say that for the Centenary Revolution, I made art project here, a piece of conceptual art. It's raining here in Helsinki. A piece of conceptual art that recreates the original apartment, museum apartment, not the apartment, but museum apartment. So it recreates the museum in another rented flat. So, welcome.
Lassie is going to help us.
Yes, this is Lassie, our colleague, who participated in creation of this apartment. But basically, it's a teamwork. It's not just kind of solo exhibition that one artist making everything.
Yeah.
It's impossible because really it involves a lot of effort and a lot of negotiations and a lot of research behind of it. Almost 1 year research. So, welcome. This is a place. So all this, I would say, environment is a recreation of original display of the museum, of the memorial room of Lenin. It's called Memorial Room at Hakaniemi Square in Helsinki. So as I already said, it was closed in the 90s, and all the furniture, all the objects from the museum came to several Finnish museums. Most of objects came to Lenin Museum in Tampere, another Finnish city, and other objects to Helsinki City Museum. And we managed to get all these objects back. So what you see here is a recreation of the museum, not of the original environment, original room of Kustaa Rovio, the Lenin state, but recreation of the museum. This is why this project called Museum of the Museum. And here you see some footage of original display of the museum that's situated, as I said, in the same building. So you see the same bed, tapestry, chairs, even this chandelier,
Nice.
and wall telephone
Wow.
from the late 19th century. And of special interest, this bookcase. So, as I said, this is not like a historical exhibition. This is a piece of conceptual art based on this idea of tautology, repetition, and basically dialectical ideas. You know, negation of the negation. We can say museum of the museum. So this is basic idea, and the only, I would say, contemporary contribution here is the content of this suitcase made by our good friend, leftist theorist, art theorist and political theorist, Sezgin Boynik. These books are from his own library, and we see it situated as this, books on revolutionary theory, books, Lenin's books in several languages, and books on art. For example, Tom Stoppard's Travesties piece about Lenin and Dadaist with Tom Stoppard autograph, and essay on art and language by Charles Harrison, and you know, art and language conceptual art group that dealt a lot with Lenin, and Mayakovsky, Ben Webster, Gorky, other theories.
Nice. Pretty much everything. Yeah. What was the time frame that Lenin actually stayed in this building?
So he stayed from late August till mid September, I would say. So basically, this is a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of this was one of the main questions for Soviet historians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to figure out the exact days and so on and so on. But you know, it was hideout.
Right.
It was a conspiratorial flat, so no documents really remained.
Right.
Yeah, so it wasn't available even in the 20s.
Right.
So it became known only after Lenin's death,
Right.
after 1924. So it was totally mystery for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Nice. How did you start the project based on this idea that there was also a tension between the traditional ways that the authoritarian modes of communism existed in Russia versus a different revolution that happened in Finland in 1918, which was a civil war. Did you think about that aspects of it?
Basically, I would prefer, you know, being an artist, not to perform politologist, you know, the political, like a specialist in political studies or history. So I prefer to talk from the standpoint of art.
Mm-hmm.
And my idea is to abandon this mode of kind of sentimental remembering, creating a new lieu de mémoire, place of memory, and getting into kind of sentimental mood, nostalgia. So this is basically deconstruction of the museum.
Mm-hmm.
So my point of view that to approach Lenin's thought, to approach kind of the way Lenin thought, means not to talk about Lenin or to depict Lenin in art, but try to make art the way Lenin would do it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
To use dialectics, to use, tautology, to use productive way of working with language.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why we choose this mode of museum of the museum, not the museum of Lenin. So because you can put a lot of slogans everywhere, portraits of Lenin, something like this, and say, like all should be red, of course.
Right.
And you say, yes, we are truly leftist, and we do good thing. But you know, the small audience of art, they more or less agree with you. So it's like very incestuous, you know, to try to persuade people who already agree with you. I think much better to make something about thought, to think, to experiment. This is much more much more, I think, in line with Lenin. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope this project will work. And also, I wanted to say that I'm very pleased to be part of leftist Marxist festival in Seattle. And my greetings to participants of how it called Red May and October Revolution
Party.
anniversary party.
Yes.